Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here today. We're going to take a quick look at Sandbox. And just before we do, we'll look at Bitcoin first. And if you're new to the channel, just know I'm not a financial advisor, but I have over 15 years of trading experience. My goal is to help you become more of an effective trader, just to ensure that you have a better trading experience. I have a trading community, of course, link in the description below for that. Check that out in your own time. If you'd benefit from growing more as a trader and following my signals where I have a pretty high success rate, check that out, obviously. If not, that's okay too. Thank you so much for joining me here today. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin first. The thing to note, of course, is that we're still above support. 58,000 to 60,000 is that support channel. We've also got a pretty strong support level here, right about 55,000 if we do lose this current support right now. In other words, based on the volume profile, 55,000 and 61,000 are two really strong support levels. So that's definitely looking very good. Also note as well on the 4-hour chart, we can see that we're making higher highs and higher lows still. The price, you have this long wick here, could be a sign of reversal, as well as the fact that the price is still above both the 50 and the 200-day simple moving average. All good signs right now, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look here at Sandbox. And obviously we got a pretty strong ramp up here. Let's take a look at the 1-day chart first, kind of see what's going on here. And let's see, in fact, we might even be... No, okay, we had a reset there recently. We'll take a look at TD sequential on a shorter time frame, but at this point we've got 3 strong candlesticks. Oftentimes that's a sign for a reversal. In other words, I think it's referred to as 3 white soldiers, where you see 3 strong candlesticks in a row, and then the 4th day is typically followed by a red day. It may not be a significant red day, could just be a consolidation day, but just note, oftentimes when you see 3 candlesticks in a row, 3 very long green candlesticks, that basically implies we might see a reversal soon. RSI is well overextended as well, so I mean, all in all, Sandbox does appear to be a bit on the overextended side. I think it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. But regardless, let's go ahead and take a look at the big picture and kind of see we obviously broke our all-time high. And this happens when all-time highs are broken, right? So just yesterday, it looks like it was testing its resistance at 120. Let's go and mark that guy. So 120, obviously the price closed out below that yesterday, but somehow today just broke through and skyrocketed above. You'll see this happen with all-time highs. In fact, it's better to trust a price, just say a price just about to break its all-time high, than it is a coin that has potential to, to 20 or 30x based on the fact that it's so low versus its previous all-time high. I would take this any day. It's a much better scenario. So that being said, Sandbox is looking fantastic here on the 1-day chart. Again, very overextended, so if the price does end up retracing, we should see 120 hold as a pretty strong support, because commonly previous all-time highs are very strong support levels moving forward. So just note that. Moving on to the 4-hour chart, let's take a quick look at the moving averages. Obviously, we're well above that. We'll take a look also at Fibonacci here in a sec, but looking at the RSI, it's up over 70, which is good. I actually like RSI up over 70 a lot of times because it can work as a support level. In other words, when the price were to come down and retrace and just say bounce off of 70 on the support, that oftentimes will coalesce with a Fibonacci retracement line. We'll see here in just a moment what that looks like, but all in all, this is actually a good sign. We like to see this. All right, so let's take a quick peek at Fibonacci and kind of see what potential we have here right now. Okay. Now 120, even though it was a previous all-time high, is basically right in the middle of the Fibonacci retracement lines. So I would say that we have a strong support channel right in here. So let's go ahead and mark this as well. We're looking at basically 0.15 is, 0.5 rather, is a standard Fibonacci retracement line. In other words, $1.15 is a pretty strong support. Furthermore, we also have $1.25, we could say 126 if we round up. 126 is another support level there. So for lack of better terms, if we were to remove Fibonacci, we have a really strong support channel here between 116 and 126. So a 10-cent support channel, pretty much hovering right around the previous all-time high. So that's really good. I like to see that. Let's also note as well on the 1-hour chart, let's see where we're at for TD sequential. We were at a 9, actually we're a little bit over time. So here's something to note with TD sequential. If you're new to the channel or just in general, time to mark sequential. It's a really cool, basically, sequence of numbers. So whenever you hit a 9, it's supposed to reset and either go sideways or retrace. Oftentimes, it doesn't go much higher than that. Now, this case here, we see a 9 right there. We've got 2 extra candles right after. So it basically just tells us that we are in, I refer to it as overtime, but it's basically just meaning that you've hit your 9, you should have seen a retracement or a consolidation, but the price is instead deciding to increase. This happens on new all-time highs a lot. It's very standard. But if you look back here, just say as an example, here's a 9 right here. You can kind of see that it goes 1 to a 9, and then it continues sideways, essentially, even though it is legging up a little bit. It went sideways, and then it ramped up again and consolidated. So simply put, what we should expect here moving forward is the price to hopefully go sideways soon. And I say hopefully based on the fact that we don't want it to continue to increase, because if Sandbox just keeps on shooting to the moon, just say, for example, using that analogy, it's going to come crashing back down, right? We've seen it happen more often than not. A lot of coins get too big for the britches and they have to come back down and retrace. If this doesn't have a period of consolidation soon, it's going to come crashing back down to 126. Okay. So I recommend if you see this keep going higher and higher without any consolidation, consider taking some profits. That way, when the price does retrace, you can take that profit, add it back to your position at a lower average. That's typically what I like to do. So in this scenario here, again, this is kind of just a red flag, so to speak. If we break this high right there at about 160, excuse me, then we're going to see a likelihood of a push to the upside. And if that happens, it's all well and good, but it's just means it's all the more likely to come back down. So again, we might see this continue to pump throughout the day, but when the day is over, that one-day candlestick closes, we should expect a red candle in the next 24 hours from Sandbox, just based on the simple fact that we have the 3 white soldiers. We're overextended on the TD sequential. Even though we're well above the Ishimoku cloud, it will work as a potential support level here if the price were to come down and start to retrace, right? So just generally speaking, that's kind of what we're looking at. So all good things here for Sandbox. It's just that I want you to be careful and proceed with caution. Try not to consider this as an Elon or a Shiba Inu, right? Those kind of defy the laws of trading. Sandbox still works within those reigns, right? It needs to kind of consolidate to have that healthy pattern. All right, so that's kind of what we're looking for and hoping for. I mean, truth be told, I love this going higher. I want it to continue to go higher, right? We all do. But as a long-term investment, right, just say you're swing trading and not day trading, you want this to also have more long-term potential. And I think short-term right now, this is looking like it's going to retrace very soon. So let's just go ahead and jump on into the, let's go to the prediction here and kind of just see what kind of potential we have, right? Because based on this run here that we're on right now, there is definite potential for it to continue to increase. So say it just keeps going up and up and up, right? Regardless of consolidation efforts or interests, what we need to know is and understand that, based on Fibonacci retracement, this does have potential to, 2x again from where it's at right now, right? Not the total price, but from where it started essentially. In other words, right now we're at $1.60. I would say best case scenario, 275 would be a best case if this just continued to push for a couple more days. We're going to see 275, I think, as a likelihood eventually. Again, pending this doesn't continue to increase and retrace significantly, right? Because think about this analogy. I always like to give this to my patrons, right? We like to talk about this all the time. It's kind of a joke, but it's serious too. Like say you're to fall down a flight of stairs. You're probably going to mess yourself up. You're going to be on a neck brace, right? You're going to have crutches. You might even be in a wheelchair for a while. It's going to take a while to recover. You may even have to learn to walk again, right? With Sandbox, if it goes up to 275 tomorrow, it's going to fall down a flight of stairs. There's just no other way around it. A coin can only go so high for so long. So, I mean, we got all these other YouTubers talking about how great it is for something to moon. That's all well and good, but if you don't take your freaking profits before the price retraces, you're out, right? There's really no point in doing it. However, in this scenario here, right, if the price were to consolidate and just say go sideways for a little while, a couple days, 2, 3, maybe 4 more days, and not retrace, then it'll have another option to be able to leg up again and hit that 275 target without significant correction, right? It would basically be falling down a stair instead of a flight of stairs, right? So you trip and fall, you scuff your knee, you get up and you shake it off. That's what consolidation does for currencies, right? Or trading, whatever the case is. In the last 15 years of trading, I've noticed that is just a very common characteristic. So again, all well and good. Celebrate the fact that Sandbox is doing great, but also be realistic in the fact that the higher it goes up, the stronger it'll come down, and the likelihood of hitting 275 would be further away, much further away, if it keeps pumping right now, okay? Just keep that in mind. That being said, yeah, again, I would say by end of November, 275 is pretty likely. By this weekend, I really just hope the price, stays where it's at. It might get resisted out right around $1.85 and then come back down to bounce off of I think 130. what was that? Yeah, 125, somewhere in that range. So again, there's a lot of potentials here, but just keep in mind, ensure you have a target in place before you take a trade. That's the bottom line. I teach that to my patrons all the time. Make sure if you're going to jump into this here right now, you have a stop loss, you have 3 profit targets, and you always shoot for a specific goal. If you're just jumping in arbitrarily, you're not really doing yourself a favor at all. That's not trading, that's gambling, okay? So if you like best practice and to become a better, more effective trader, feel free to join my crypto trading community. I actually send out signals for every single trade that I take, and we all share in the profits. It's a really cool experience. But if not, that's cool too. Thank you so much for your time. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.